Okay, folks, let's go ahead and get started. Top of the hour here. Thank you for being here. And just wanted to say that if you haven't been to one of these before, these are the weekly webinars that I do with all of the folks that are my JV partners. We have a discussion. You get to listen in and ask questions when that makes sense to do so. So thank you for being here. Had a lot of people signed up for this webinar. And is frequently the case, less people showed up than who actually registered, but that's pretty standard. Avish, you're now with us again?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, Avish is here, and I don't know if Bill DeWeese is going to be here or not. I'm not sure what his schedule is like, because he is, after all, the hardest working man in the voiceover business.
That he is.
Let's see here. One of the things I wanted to do is, just talk about his success, and he's starting to get some real traction now in the rankings based on some of the Irmalization he's been doing. And for those of you who don't know what that means, I don't really either, but it's a friend of ours named Irmal who has been working with Bill to get him better search engine results. The real story behind that is you don't want to get a lot of traffic or get great SEO results until you have a site that has everything set up and is ready to sell and converts well, et cetera, et cetera. So that being said, I thought we would just sort of show people what Bill has done. This is the new look of his site. I don't know if you've seen this yet, Avish.
I don't think I have, no. It's
But
nice.
basically, he's got everything set up the way it's supposed to be, quote unquote, for all of that. When you click on the various pages, it gives you things, and Irmal has set him up to do that, and that looks like it's working just fine and dandy for him. Now, I wonder if I put, I may have to, I thought I had something here. But anyway, so it'd be good to take a look at voice-over-training.org to give you an idea of what kind of a site setup will maximize your SEO benefits. So look at this site to get a good idea about how to do it SEO wise. That's what I would say, because certainly he's starting to get some real good numbers and good results. And as a result, when he comes out here to see me at the JV Partners Summit, which is coming up in a couple weeks, he's going to be bringing me a nice check, which I always like.
Oh, very nice.
Always good to get a check. Now, a couple of other things here. Avish, I don't think you've seen this yet, so I'm going to show you along with everybody else who's watching here. I've added something to my site. You notice here, can you see that? Under $5 items.
Yeah, I saw your email. I checked out the page.
Okay, and so this page now, when you click on it, is set up to display all of the various items that I sell in the Kindle store, both books on the top here, and you see we divided this up into books, books, and then down below, articles, which again are being cranked out at a pretty heavy rate here. We now have quite a few articles, and they're all up there. So when you click through, say for example you wanted this one, you could click here and it takes you to the site where it's getting, you can buy it right there on Amazon. And again, the strategy here has been to, I don't know if I actually opened a new window there. Yeah, I must have. So the strategy here is to do the following. Well, anyway, the under $5 elements, the reason why I did this is I just thought, you know what, a lot of people come to the site who don't know who I am. And it's, under $5 is really easy to get people to do stuff. So I put two new tabs here. One is the under $5, the other is the buy my book. Now when you click on the buy my book, you get two things here. You can either buy the physical book or you buy the Kindle e-version of the thing. And also, I don't know if you saw this, Avish, but what I did was I also added something. I changed this. The Sell Your Brain Power site now is set up where it's no longer, my offer has been extended. You can order the physical copy of Sell Your Brain Power and get these bonuses listed below. So I've extended that rather than just trying to have that happen on that one day, January the 31st. And since that's over, that's what I've done. So that's where, so you can still buy the book. And you may want to use, again, I would take a look at the site as sort of a template for what you might want to do. Now, Vish, speaking of which, where's your site as far as things are going for your book?
Which one? The book launch?
Yeah.
It's up right now. Right now, people are signing up for the pre-notice so they can get the free book next week. Because Monday to Thursday next week, I'm letting people download the free PDF.
And where is this? Where's the
SayYesAnd.com.
That's right. Whoops. I can't get it. Yeah, there it is. SayYesAnd.com, Avish's new book. So if anybody who is watching this wants to, you can go get a hold of Avish's book, Say Yes And. And this was filmed here, obviously. So let's see what this is.
No, that's in my bedroom.
Oh, is it? God, it looks so much like my library.
I look intellectual with the books behind.
Hi, this is Avish Parisher. Thank you for visiting my website and getting information on Say Yes And. This is my new book, and I'm super excited about it. In fact, I'm so excited about the content in this book that for 4 days before the book is officially released, I'm giving away free PDF copies of the entire book. Not a sample, not a teaser, but the entire book in PDF form. All you have to do is enter your email address and you'll...
Okay, so let's talk about that. So why did you decide to do that?
There were 2 reasons. Number one is, well, I guess there are 3 reasons. Number one is just building some buzz. Number 2 is because the real value from this is going to come out of people who read the book and either want to buy volumes for their company or hire me to come to a speaking or training program. So frankly, the more people I can get, put the book in their hands, the better. And the third is I want to get as big a list of people who are actually interested in this book as possible before the 28th, because after the free offer is over, I'm going to hit them with like a sequence of 2 or 3 emails, really letting them know that even though you bought the PDF, here's a bunch of reasons why you may still want to buy it on Tuesday. So, I'm getting these people to spread the word and that whole thing. So it's kind of like what Seth Godin did way back with the idea virus. So
got it. So now, when did you get this started? Yesterday or Monday?
I think I first started announcing this. I might have briefly announced it once last week. I sent another email out this week. Looks like a couple of people just signed up for it, so maybe there are people on the webinar who you drove there, so thank you.
Yep.
I'm looking up right now how many people have signed up for that pre-release right now.
Okay. I mean, is it hundreds or what's the...
No. I mean, it's. I think it's over 100, I hope, but there's not been a flood of people over there, but that's only one of the things I'm doing for the launch, so...
Okay, good. So, yeah, so that's part of your whole launch strategy there.
Yes, actually, thanks to the 2 people who just signed up. Thank you very much. I now have over 100. I have 101, so...
Nice.
At the beginning of this webinar, I was still under 100.
We pushed you over the top.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so now, one of the... this is, I thought I had my... I thought I had downloaded my... Let me just see if I have that or not. I think I do. Yes, I do. Here. I wanted to bring this up for everybody just to show people what my Kindle numbers have looked like. Can you see that chart, Avish?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is when I started getting, at about mid-November, I started getting really, really excited about the whole Kindle process. And this is a graph of what I had been doing for about the last 16 months, and then all of a sudden I started doing stuff. Now, I'm not extrapolating that this curve is going to keep going up to here, as time goes on, but I have been watching the numbers, and they've been, I've been doing stuff, and I don't know if you saw it today, Avish, but in USA Today, today, let's see if we can pull it up, because there's an article about a guy who is, let me just show it, I think it was in the money section, about... making money with ebooks, and I think it was in the money section. Let me just check here. I had the physical magazine. So I mean the physical USA Today newspaper.
Were you in a hotel somewhere?
Yeah. I don't know where. Let's see here. I have the physical publication, but anyway, in today's USA Today, there's this whole article about this guy who is And now it's going to bug me if I can't find it here. I wonder if I put in, if they have a good search function in this thing. Let's see here. Where is it? Of course, it'll be impossible for me to find it here. Well, maybe, let's see here, ebook. Let's see if it has it or not. But I just wanted to sort of prove the point. Yes, yeah, here it is. I think this is it. Yeah, so this is in today's USA Today, and this is, yeah, so Scott Nicholson, a prolific author with 70 books to date, has found his success online selling self-published Amazon books for the Kindle and other e-readers. He handles the entire process himself, blah, blah, blah. You can read the article here, and it's pretty interesting. Now, of course, he doesn't give his exact numbers. I love he makes a, quote, comfortable living, which means to say, please don't come audit me if you're the IRS, is basically what that's saying. But I mean, he's doing quite a bit. And I haven't seen this. So there's a video here as well. Let's check this out, see what it is.
With Expedia Rewards, I now earn points however I travel. Any hotel?
Here's your hot towel, sir.
And any airline, too. Rewards any way I travel.
Of course, I can't do this.
Except naked. What a shame. Expedia.
Yeah, there it won't. That wasn't too long.
With your rise in ebook sales and the ease of getting your books into Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and the Apple ebook stores, you've said, hey, I want to get my book in there too. But the question is how? Well, great news. New software tools have come out to make the process easier than ever. Apple just introduced iBook Author, a free app to make multimedia books for the iPad.
Now, quick one on that. I've looked at the iBook stuff, and I'm a big Mac fan. I don't really see it as really the best thing right now. But anyway, let's take a look.
iPad, and a new company called Red Staple just introduced its low-cost tool to format books and get them into the Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Apple e-stores.
Haven't checked that out.
Apple's iBook Author is an app available in the Apple App Store for computers. To use it, you need to be pretty current with your operating system, using at least Snow Leopard, which came out in 2009. With the app, you cut and paste your copy into one of Apple's pre-designed templates, and then you can also add photos, music, and video, which is a huge difference over the other ebook offerings, which are pretty much text only. With Red Staple, you upload your chapter piece by piece, and then upload your cover as well. Within the tool, you can refine your formatting to see what you got.
I don't really recommend this because it's not really worth it if you're doing Kindle publishing or any of the publishing without all the fancy Apple elements, because it's really completely unnecessary. You can just do it in a Microsoft Word document. So I do not recommend that anybody go ahead and get this, whatever this new tool is, Red Staple. I just don't buy it. So, but my numbers are looking really, really pretty impressive. And what I'm always trying to do, and I'm asking everybody else to do, if in their business, if they're marketing and selling information, is to try and find ways to get automatic money coming in. And so, again, my whole idea that actually Avish coined the term, the Gleekonomics idea, is to have 100 checks coming in from 100 different sources every month. And again, this is just an additional source of revenue in addition to Web Marketing Magic and ultra cheap domains and all of my joint venture clients, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm trying to make it so that I can get as many checks coming in monthly as is humanly possible. Now, Avish, one of the things that I've sort of done is I've sort of created an article creation system, and it's one of these things where I'm trying desperately to make it so that my system is super easy. So the first thing that I do is, as a Mac guy, I'm using Pages, and what I do is Pages allows you to create both. It's just like a word processor like Microsoft Word, but it allows you to do both the text itself, but also to create an outline. So the first thing that I do is, I guess before I even get to Pages, is I say to myself, and now that we've already done this, I'll kill this here, move it up. First thing that I do is I sort of, I have my various topics, right? So I have information marketing that I know a lot about. I've got seminars. And I just, so what I'd suggest everybody do who's watching this is list everything you know anything about. So list all of your various topics. And once you come up with that list, and say you come up with, some of mine are so online marketing, and maybe what else? One other thing here is self-publishing, let's say. So then what I do is I go through here and I start to brainstorm what are the smaller elements of each of these that I could turn into individual articles. So for example, I haven't done this one yet, but on seminars, for example, I could create a whole seminar on, logistics. Not, of course, to steal from, what is it, UPS? It's got those commercials.
UPS.
Yeah. So I could do a whole article on logistics, and I could probably come up with, 20 plus topics to do individual articles about. So then once you've brainstormed all those, so then what I would do is, let's just say, and I now have, I think, about 40 topics that I want to write articles on. And my goal, again, is to get to the point where I'm doing 3 to 5,000 word articles weekly. Now, for some of you, this might be unrealistic depending on what other stuff you have going on. But I was just saying this to Sabrina the other day. I was going, it's not like I'm not working a factory job. I mean, if you think about this, people complain about how much work they have. You know what? Compared to somebody who's working at a factory, man, you got it easy. So to crank out 3 to 5,000 word articles a week, somebody might go, wow, that's a lot. You know what? It isn't a lot, really, compared to people who have to really work for a living, as far as I'm concerned. So to me, sitting down and writing isn't really working for a living. I mean, I'm using my brain, but it's just like, just do it. Shut up and just crank it out, because you're going to create these ongoing streams of income for yourself. And so the goal here is at the end of this year, and we'll see what my numbers are, the end of 2012, I want to have 100 articles that I have written myself. And the reason why I say that is because even though I turned to Vishan yesterday to a gal who might be able to help us do some of this writing, I'm incredibly skeptical of jobbing out the writing. So for me, at least, I'm doing these, articles myself. So anyway, so when you crank out this much content, you're going to have just a bunch of things. But the first thing is to brainstorm all your topics in all the areas. Then what I do, and this might seem a little bit odd, but the first thing that I do is, after coming up with the various sort of topic headings here, or titles, let's call them, the next thing I do is I get a cover designed. So I want to see, it sort of motivates me to finish what I'm writing when I can see what it's going to look like. And as you can see now, I've got a bunch of different things that are up on the site, and all of these, by the way, were designed, by all the article design covers, not the book covers. Don't confuse it here. The book covers were designed by, some of them by professional book designers, but a lot of the covers were designed by this one guy on Fiverr. And again, how to create a great audio product, online marketing. This one just went up, blogging for maximum profit, how to create a killer. So, and these are all decent, and most people don't even have covers for their articles. So this is a pretty, these are pretty basic covers, but a lot of people don't even have them. So first thing I do is I brainstorm the topics, come up with titles, then I get a cover design, and then I write. So well, first, actually, that's not really accurate. I don't think writing, first I outline. So after I outline, and what I do is I have a standard approach to this, and everybody, you can copy what I'm doing here because it works well. First thing I do is I say introduction, and I say conclusion. And then I say to myself, okay, well, what are the introduction, conclusion remarks that I'm going to have about this topic? And then I just list all the topics I want to cover. Now, what happens is I don't worry yet about putting them into order. I just write like little mini articles on each of those. But within each of the topics that I cover, I create a little mini version of this. So let's say one of the topics, and I'm just thinking of the thing I just did on blogging, and reasons why you should blog. I think that's one of the items here. Okay, so then underneath that I basically come up with a little intro section to that sort of subsection, and then I come up with, I think it's 4 ideas or whatever it was, and then I have a conclusion to that section. So everything is broken down sort of into this intro, conclusion, and X number of points part, even if it's a section of the article itself. the net result is I can crank these out. Now, I don't worry about the order that I put these in, but as I'm writing, let's just say I have a total of 10 sections, right? So, or 10 pieces. So 10 sections. So the total number of sections is obviously going to be 12 because you have an intro and a conclusion. And so with 10 sections, I now don't have them more in order, but I also write sort of sporadically. Sometimes I'll write one section completely. Sometimes I'll write stuff. And when I'm writing stuff and I have not yet finished, and please don't draw any conclusions about what I'm using here. When I'm not yet finished, I just put XXX somewhere. And that's not having to do with the content. That's just indicating to me if I search for XXX, something is not yet done. Also, at the very top of each of the sections, I will either put not done, or when I've completed that section, I'll eliminate this and just put done. So now when I have all my sections completed, I'll go through and make sure that all the sections are marked as done. I will then put them into order, because a lot of times I might have written them in an order that really doesn't make sense to the person who's going to be reading this. So I put them in an order, and then after I have everything done, I'm working in Pages, which is not the format that Kindle will take it. So I go from Pages and I export it into Word. And by the way, this isn't the most recent version of Word. They want it in Word like 97 or something, whatever. They've got this really old system. Do this, that's fine. So I export it into Word. I then go to the Kindle store. And the most important thing, which I guess I'm getting ahead of myself here again, after I do the export, then what I usually do is I go back into the document, or I should do it here, which is I create the description, because the description is really important to make this stuff sell. Now, why am I talking about all this stuff when I'm only selling these articles for like $2.99? Well, it's just like, they claim marijuana is a gateway drug. My articles on the Kindle store are a gateway drug to you becoming one of my, heavy buyers, users, JV partners, seminar attendees, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm looking to get people in the door at whatever price I can to get them. So if you look at, and let's go down to one of these articles, since we were just talking about it, let's go to the blogging one. What I did was, it's really important to come up with this description, because without this description, it's going to be hard to sell anything. So I took the contents, my various elements, and these were basically all of the sections, and I put them into benefit forms in a what you will learn kind of thing. What I always do as well is on this product description, the first line always says, do you want to create a killer blog, one which captures the essence of your personality and makes you some good money? Great, you found the right article. And I describe what it is. So it's a 5,000 plus word article. I think it was like 5,021 words. So I do this, and I'll put all this stuff together. By the way, here, link to my website, which Amazon will display to everyone. Now, it's not in a linkable form, but people can certainly find out more about me, and it's showing up in traffic numbers now as well, because there are a lot of people that are starting to go to the site based on looking at just the description. They haven't even bought the book yet. They haven't even possibly downloaded a sample. So that's what I'm doing here, and making sure that, so that's the process for me writing all this stuff. Now, in addition to that, what I was just talking to Avish about, and Avish, I told you about, I sent you the information for the woman. Did you contact her by any chance?
Yeah, I signed up for one article to see what it comes back with.
Yeah, so both Avish and I have now, I've contracted with a woman I found on Fiverr, and this is crazy too, which is, so somebody on Fiverr will write, and I don't know anything about this woman, I'm just trying it out myself, 600 words for $5. Now, if you figure that my average article, let's say I want 4,800 words, basically that's 8 times 5, or $40. And so the deal is, and I'm thinking that if this woman can come up with decent stuff, I can get 4,800 words working. So this would be in addition to any other kinds of articles that I want to write. So I'm going to stick with my area of expertise and do the writing myself. But with her, for example, I have her writing a book on step parenting right now. Well, not really writing a book. I have her writing 600 words. And so she prefers to be paid sort of like in increments, and so I'm going to pay her. She'll come back with the first 600 words, and if it's halfway decent, then I will proceed to give her another $5 for another 600 words. And by the end of this whole process, and by the way, she says it takes about 5 days. So it looks like it may take, 30 days to get the whole thing done. No biggie. Who cares? But my point is that in addition to writing 100 sort of Kindle articles for myself, I'm also going to start to job out some of these to people like her, which will end up, and again, I just want to have a boatload of articles, books, etc. that are in there so that people can find me through various things. Now, let me just, and again, I'm not inventing these people. These are my real numbers. This is my real account. So I'm going to show you my actual numbers. Now remember, this is the third month that I'm really working at this at any, serious clip. So, and I don't know what these looked like last week, but they look even better this week for a couple of reasons, and we can go over that. So, here are all my different titles, but let me just show you the reports. And the reports give us, I get sort of up to the minute sales. And by the way, Avish, I'm crazy about this because I have a spreadsheet which I load everything into, and I do projections and everything. But I'm looking at this data, what I'm about to do here, like clicking on this. I'm now doing this literally 20 times a day. It's ridiculous. I mean, I feel like
a 12-step program.
I feel like I need a 12-step program. Exactly. And so here are my numbers as we speak for today, as of today. So we've got, five, I've got a total in my spreadsheet, but you're looking at, this has got 5, 6, 11, 4, 3, 3, 13, 12. And so what I did was, I'm looking and looking at what's working well. Well, obviously somebody's gotten hip to my Kindle Money Management sort of article and marking your coaching. But this big one here is obviously Sell Your Brain Power, the book, which has now got 68 orders at $4.99. That's not even at $2.99. All the rest of these are set up at $2.99. So it's all $2.99 except for those. Now, when you go and look at, when I look at my my numbers for, come on, move, would you? Taking me over.
Hey, Fred, I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
Since you're only putting this on Amazon, have you enrolled any of these in the Kindle Select? Because I see your units borrowed all at 0.
Yes, all of them are. You know what? Now all of a sudden my screen is frozen, and I don't know what's going on here. So let me just see if I close this. Okay. Yeah, in answer to your question, yes, I am enrolled in Kindle Select. Some of them have been borrowed, some of them haven't. Let me just see if I can get back into that for you.
You're not seeing a big Kindle borrowing.
It's been like last month. I think I had maybe 5 or 6 people borrow the book, or the various books. So in other words, and let me just show you that because I couldn't move over because it was locked. Here's unit borrowed. Units borrowed is, there's 1, 2, was that 2? Yeah, 3 maybe. No, 2. No, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3. And so that shows you that, people aren't borrowing, but they also have a little slush fund if you do buy. And it gives the authors some money for buying. What was any other questions, Vish?
No, that was it for right now.
Okay, so anyway, so right now, but the numbers are pretty, it's been basically, it went from something like, and I've got the graph hidden behind here somewhere. Let me see if I do this. I forget. But anyway, 120, and then in December, then 240 for January, and February is looking like about 360. So it's going up arithmetically. It's not going up exponentially, which I was hoping it would. But again, this is why I'm saying that, it's a great way for information marketers. And by the way, this is, Avish, how I've always sort of obsessed about that idea of trying to find a way, and I see Dave is on the line too. I've always obsessed with finding a way. People have always said, could you find a way to show people who had no money, 0 money, they were homeless? How could you show them how to make money in the field of information marketing? I got it now.
Yeah.
And this is how you would do it. The way you would do it. So how do you make money with no money? So you have no money. How do you make money in information marketing? This is how. You first go to your local public library. There is no cost to sign up at kdp.amazon.com. This will assume, and I'll assume that you do have a way to get paid in a bank account, because without that you can't. But I'm assuming you have no money, but you do have a bank account. So now what happens is you could set up and start writing every day at the public library, uploading articles into the Kindle store, spend some time on forums getting people to go there, and start selling your book and getting paid. And if you did this every day for the next year, you could actually probably stop being homeless. And I mean, it's so there is a way to literally make money in this business starting with absolutely no dollars. And it's going to happen. So the other thing that's interesting, Avish, is I don't think I've even told you this yet, is that, all of this is in the area of nonfiction. At least it is for me. So I'm writing about the various topics I just went over, but I realize that, the people that are making the big money are writing fiction. Look at Stephen King and all that, Scott Turow and all these other people. So I'm taking, and this is my goal for 2012, is I'm going to take some writing classes, and I want to learn how to write some fiction. And of course, the easiest way to do that is to start with some short stories. So, and again, this is, some of you may just go, what the hell am I talking about here? Well, what I'm talking about here is, how do you make money in information marketing? One of the types of information market is fiction and songs and whatever. So there are all different kinds of ways you can make money marketing information. Some of it is more traditional, books, ebooks, etc. But the other thing is there's a lot of other ways to make money. So I just thought to myself, the reason why I want to move and start doing some fiction is that the total number of potential people that will buy my materials is much, 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 much higher. And I will prove that to you by going to Amazon and just showing you this fact. And the reason why this hit me so hard, because I was looking at this stuff and I was going, you know what, let me just try and figure this out. So if you go to just books in general, right? So we go to books and we put in Hunger Games, let's say. And I'm just putting that in to just get something away. But now I'm going to click on this tab, bestsellers. So I click on bestsellers, and I'm looking at the top 100 books in the bestseller. Fiction, all three Hunger Games, by the way. Oh, Suzanne Collins isn't making much money at all, is she?
Yeah.
She's only had 4,685 people review this book. Must not be too much demand for this at all. Here's a nonfiction book, and that's by Reid Hoffman, Startup U. Okay, this might be nonfiction, but my point is, if you go through here, a lot of the top 100 are fiction books. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. So I'm thinking to myself, I wanted to figure out some way, and so now, by the way, you should do this within your own category too. So with that, I click on business and investing, and then within business and investing, I'll click on small business and entrepreneurship, which is my category. And so that's this guy actually who's number 4 in the whole thing, which he's doing really well with this book, obviously. So you take a look at what else is selling well to give yourself some idea of the topics that you may want to consider. Don't just do it in a mercenary fashion, but if you have knowledge or interest in some of the areas that are already hot, it might be a good idea to try and look for things that you can do yourself. So, this is just one way to do it. But I'm just thinking to myself, what are the top, and if we go to Alexa right now, and let me just show you this. Alexa, and Alexa gives us, what are the top sites? Okay, so top sites here. So we look at the top sites. Okay, number 1 is Google, number 2 is Facebook, number 3 is YouTube. So what does this mean? Well, you better be, doing something potentially on Google+, but I don't know how good that is. It hasn't worked. But Facebook, definitely. YouTube, producing some videos. Yahoo, not necessarily. Wikipedia, if you can get a listing. Twitter. But you go down here, number 11 is Amazon. And this is saying that there is already traffic that exists. So what we're trying to do is find where there's already existing traffic and find a way to jump in front of that traffic. So I'm just saying that Amazon is the easiest way. eBay is not even in the top 10 anymore. That's interesting. Where's eBay these days? eBay is 20 now. Interesting. So eBay's at 20, Amazon's at 10, 11. You see Twitter here, Blogspot, Yahoo, YouTube. So yeah, having a lot of YouTube videos, and I don't know what my total number of YouTube videos is now, but it's quite a few because all of the webinars like this one that we record, I put up on YouTube. And so again, you're trying to find a way to jump in front of traffic. And so then we've got, I don't know, how many do I have now? I've got 180 videos, I think, 181 on all different kinds of topics here. And all of these webinars are uploaded and put on, et cetera, et cetera. So again, this is just another thing that you have to do is to find. Now, Dave, you just came on a little bit later. What's happening with you? Anything happening?
Oh, all kinds of good stuff. Sorry I'm late here. So I'm just taking what you're talking about, and I think one of the things, Fred, that's interesting to you, and this is something I think about a lot, is how could people get started? And that whole idea of starting a business on a shoestring, it may not be the optimum way if you could do everything, but I've been thinking about how to start a business, how to start an information marketing business for the cheapest, using a PayPal account and a very simple website, and what's the lowest amount of money people could spend and actually have a legitimate online marketing business.
So how much would you come up with?
Well, I think about $250, which has to do with the right type of theme. Now, here's the other thing that I think people, when they heard you talking, were thinking like there is some creativity and some content that is assumed they're going to create.
Yes.
So you and I know that putting a website together, there's some things where you can slap it together, but it looks like it's slapped together. But to have something as good as the pros use, but you're still on that shoestring budget, either using PayPal or ClickBank or something that's very inexpensive. So I think in the $200 range, they could have it together with a guide that says, all right, this can make you money. And then what you're talking about is kind of driving the traffic and posting to blogs and Kindle stuff that's going to drive traffic to something that's going to actually produce sales.
Yeah. So break down this $250 for me.
Well, as I looked at it, frankly, it may be less because I was factoring in credit card processing. But if you take that and Web Marketing Magic out of the equation, which I think is important, but if they didn't want to, they could have, with the 7-minute mini sites, which is just right on the verge of coming out with this, they're going to have pre-made templates of entire sites with every page that's needed. They simply add content and a buy link to PayPal. That's one cost.
Okay, well, give me the number then. So with Web Marketing Magic, you're looking at about $250, you think?
With Web Marketing Magic, $250. Without, I think, about $150 with the right training. And that's part of the stepping them through each step of the process, which frankly, Fred, is if they can write an ebook in Microsoft Word and save it as a PDF, they're done. They have a product.
Yep.
They can get somebody with a microphone to record an MP3. They're done. They have a product. Then, with a professional optimized press website, and they get a free PayPal account, they can add the buy link. They can have PayPal deliver it, and they're done. But they got to know how to make all the things connect, and that's where the training comes in.
Got it. So, in other words, we're saying, though, that, if somebody's got the knowledge in their head and has the creativity, it's very possible now for people to be able to create, basically almost something out of nothing. I mean, most people could probably find a way to get a hold of a couple $100.
Yeah. And if you factor in maybe an AWeber account that they buy you buy the PayPal ebook, which is free money. As soon as they buy it, you say, to receive updates and bonuses, give me your email. Then not only are you selling the product, but you have an email marketing system to follow it to upsell them to the next product you create. And that, AWeber, you tackle on $20 a month, they have the foundations of something that really works. You got, the other piece was web hosting, but you and I know that, you can get that for $10 a month. And so, right around 150, 200 is where it tops out. Again, if you've got the step-by-step guide showing you do this first, set this up, and boom, you're off and running.
Yeah, this is why, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I just heard the discussion on the radio earlier today about, how people, the big fight in Congress is about whether or not and how long to extend unemployment benefits. I'd like to be able to go in and talk to all these people who are unemployed and say, you know what? A lot of you people know something about something. So how would you like to get off the government dole and start making your own money? And somebody will naturally say, well, how big an investment do I have to make? How about $250, which is, less than one of your unemployment checks? And I'm telling you, I think that this kind of there's so many people out there with a lot of knowledge about a topic, but again, it's nobody's making it. Okay, so let me see here. A couple questions from the audience here. Okay, the article outline. It's what Leslie was asking about. My article outline that I talked about earlier is pretty simple. It goes like this. It's just introduction, and then a conclusion that I write first, and then in between here I stick in 10 points. Maybe yours is 5, maybe it's 13, and then under each one of those points I have again another introduction, 3 points, and a conclusion. So this isn't really anything fancy here. Tom's question is, will Amazon let you choose to bundle the hard copy of the books with a Kindle version? You know what? I don't know the answer to that, Tom. I think that, so his question is, can you sort of make the decision to bundle stuff, or does Amazon do that? And if so, how does it work? I think they've got some kind of an algorithm that based on sales of various items, they then determine what's gonna get bundled with what and how it's gonna work. So to be honest, Tom, I don't really know how that works. My goal is to, and I see what you're trying to get at, which is how do you increase the average size of your order? I probably should be looking into that. I have a suspicion because Amazon is running the game themselves. They're coming up with their own system, and you probably have no way to control it, in terms of their system. So in addition to that, remember this, which is really, really important. Any kind of work you do, and by the way, I'm leaving out an important one here, which is Smashwords. And Smashwords is a place where you can basically upload your articles to everything, including the Kindle. So smashwords.com, you should check that out as well. Another free site that allows you to upload content. Now, my numbers that I've been getting, every indication I get in terms of my data indicates one thing, which is basically that 90+% of all ebook orders are Kindle. So again, this is like back in the old days when I was like the Mac guy who was only 6% of the market and everybody else was PC. Right now, this whole space is owned by Amazon. And within the Amazon family, you've got two things. You've got Create Space, which is the physical versions, and you've got the Kindle. So, each of those, now, kdp.amazon.com. Both of these, are things that you should be doing. And I've got my book up on Create Space, which allowed me to, not have to print any if I didn't want to myself, and then people just bought it. I didn't have to get out, any money out of pocket. By the way, just a quick one on that for some of you who may not know these numbers. My book retails, my Sell Your Brain Power book retails for $19.95. Every time I sell one, Amazon gives me $5.98. I can basically buy my own books from Amazon for half that amount for about $3 per book, and so that I can have my own stock to sell myself, in which case I'm making $17 per book rather than $6 per book if they're distributing it. And so those are some of the numbers there. But I would encourage everybody to look at, now, one of the things I don't think you should do is do not use CreateSpace for any of their higher end services. I think you can get them, and by higher end I mean, they'll do cover design, they'll do interior design, they'll do a bunch of other stuff, but I would not encourage you to use them because I just don't think that they give you a really good bang for the buck in terms of dollars. So that's some of the stuff that, I was thinking about. So good question, Tom. Now, does anybody have any other questions? If you do, put it in your little question box and we'll try and get to those to make it more efficient and better for you to answer some of your questions, because I want to start involving you, the audience, to get you involved in helping on this. Avish, any thoughts on that? I don't know if it's Avish.
I got no questions. It all sounds great.
Good. I mean, Dave, anything further to add?
No, I think the interesting thing is going to be to see how easy the process is to get a book out on Kindle. And I know you've been heavily into that, but it seems like it's bridging the gap. Most people think, or at least I thought, writing a book is a really, really, really big deal. But writing an ebook is maybe easier, it's less costly, and if it's changing the mindset of people writing books.
Well, the thing about it is that an ebook now, hey Bill, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Bill DeWeese, hardest working man in the voiceover business, just got on the webinar. So writing an ebook, now let's define our terms here, which is, please understand that as long as you tell the people in your Kindle store or when they get to your Kindle page that you've written something that is 28 pages long, or you've written something, I always put it in terms of word count, 3,800 words or something like that, people won't be disappointed. And you know what? Again, I'm selling all these articles for $2.99. And for under $3, for $3, people don't really, this is an impulse purchase. This is not something people have, and anything under $5 these days is pretty much, it's less than the cost of getting a fancy Frappuccino. Like Avish does whenever he's out here. His Java chip, by the way. And so if it's that cheap, people don't think about it a whole lot. And the other thing is, make sure that you tell people how long it is. So in any of my Kindle ebooks that I put up there, and again, the reason why I'm talking about Kindle ebook stuff is, believe me, I don't want to be selling, only Kindle ebooks, but I realize one thing, which is, I find people like Bill DeWeese and, Avish and everybody else through various kinds of means. But again, and Bill, you missed this analogy earlier. It's sort of like the whole marijuana is a gateway drug. Well, Kindle ebooks are my gateway drug. So for people to bite off a little piece and get you hooked, kind of thing. Sure. So I'm trying to get people in the door with inexpensive products, which are no-brainers, require no thought, no thinking. Somebody just says, you know what, I'll get it. They don't obsess about it and think about it. Whereas, if you're coming to a boot camp and you're going to pay $3,000, all of a sudden, that's real money. And also it's the time out of your schedule, it's the cost of getting here, et cetera, et cetera. So when all said and done, to get to a boot camp, it's probably going to cost you $4,000. But for doing and purchasing a little stinking e-article, e-book, whatever you want to call it, as long as you tell people, hey, this is 3,800 words long, don't try and fool them into thinking it's a full-length book, because people will get ticked off, they will ask for their money back, and they will write you negative reviews. As long as you're upfront with people, you're not going to have any problems. So, again, this is a way that you get people in the door, and whether it's through, trying to get people to download something for free. And Avish, let's go back and Bill, by the way, I want you to, you weren't on here, I don't think, the last time that we did this, but let me just show you what Avish has done, which I think he's done a really good job on this. Speaking expert teleseminar, right?
Yep.
Now, Bill, this is perfect for you as well. So, and what I did, by the way, you'll find that when I find, and people should do this with my stuff as well, when someone has done something right, just go ahead and copy it. Give them credit. So, Avish, I'm about to give you credit. Watch what I put in here. www.ebookseminar.com. Look how suspiciously familiar this looks. Come on, don't ruin my thunder. Come up faster. It's the exact same site.
Oh my goodness!
I stole the entire thing wholesale. I haven't made any changes yet. So the whole idea here is I'm going to take and create an ebook seminar, and Bill, you're going to create the ultimate voiceover training course via teleseminar, and you're going to find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or more experts in your field in various things. Bill, take this, copy it, and come up with this. This one you don't even need to have people in your basement.
Nice.
I mean, it's
nice change of venue.
Yeah, I mean, you can do this, over the phone. And Avish, tell Bill like how this is working out in terms of the numbers. The nice thing is, tell him how many we've got two options, right? We got the paid and the unpaid option. So paid is what, 97, right?
Yep.
And then there's the free option. Okay, so when you go down here, and I left that all intact too. You go all the way down here, and Bill, feel free to copy it just like I did.
I will. Except for maybe change the pictures. But.
Yeah. Better looking people, I think, is what you need.
Absolutely.
So here's the two things. The paid version gets access, of transcripts and MP3s and blah, 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 whereas the free version, they have to listen to it live or watch or, listen to it live. I guess it's an audio. So this kind of a program for you, Bill, is perfect. Because in addition to having your regular events at your house, you could also do this. And now it doesn't involve, here's what I would do, Bill, which is what I'm doing with ebook seminar. I'm going to send everybody this and say, oh, by the way, forget the fact that it isn't about the ebook. I'm going to be finding 6 or 7 experts on this topic, putting them into a teleseminar like this, and just doing the exact same thing, but with different people.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
I assume most of these people probably have product to sell, and that's the benefit for them, and that they're not being financially compensated otherwise. Or is that wrong?
Avish?
Yeah, every expert on there I set up as an affiliate, so they get 50% of anyone they send to the teleseminar.
So what's in it for them other than that?
Other than that, it's exposure to each other's people's lists. So, if the first person, Lois, sends people, maybe they don't know who Bob Blair or David Newman is, now they're finding out. The people have, I got bonuses from a bunch of the speakers, so, it gets more content in the hands. So it's exposure. One of the girls, the second girl, Sheree, she set up, so her bonus, you go to her site and fill out a form, things like that. So they're building their list a little bit, they're getting money. And yeah, everyone except Michael, the guy with the tie, everyone else actually, has something to sell to speakers. So you want to find people who they're not just experts on their topic, but also want to be in front of that market.
Yeah. Hey, Bill,
here's more into it.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, Avish. But Bill, I would also be doing this. If they have product to sell, you want to be set up as an affiliate, as we talked about in an earlier email.
Right.
With them.
Now, experts in my field do not market products or build a list. That's why I was asking.
Now, people in your field, however, there are some people who are selling products. For example, while I was doing some research for us.
Oh, yeah.
I went to, voices.com?
Yes.
Voices, or one of these places, voices.com, they were selling something for $47.
Right. I was just thinking, most of the people I would probably want to do that I would have respect for are not people who sell products. That's why I was curious.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is that, so then ask yourself, if I'm one of those people, why would I want to be doing this?
Aside from possible cash?
Yeah. In other words, well, what are my reasons for doing it? How are you going to, you're going to compensate me by giving me a piece of the registration dollars? What else?
I don't know.
Avish,
That's a trick question.
Well, I would tell you what, Bill, never underestimate the power of both ego and friendship.
Okay.
Because I did this last fall, and a lot of those people didn't promote it much. They didn't make any money off of it, but I had built relations with them over the years, so they were more than happy to do it. And some of them were just flattered if you asked them for an hour of their time and the potential to make a few bucks. They just,
Okay.
it's really.
Okay.
So if you've got
That's
relations
to be
with
fair.
people,
That's, but yeah, no, I understand.
And so I think that in your case, Bill, you could come up with a bunch of people that would be, that would be perfect for this kind of a thing. And I think that, it would work really, really well. Speaking expert teleseminar. So, I mean, I would just copy this format and just think to yourself, I'd make a list. Who are the top, come up with the top, 10 people that you want to do. Now, again, I wouldn't do, Avish, I certainly wouldn't do, I think 7 is probably the outside end of this. You could do with this, I say between 5 and 7 is probably a good number of people.
Yeah, I think so. I think 5 would be fine, too.
So if you had...
one each week, correct?
If you one a week, right, Avish?
Yeah.
And so if you had more than, if you had 10, maybe you want to break it up into 2 sets, 2 different series. Here's a couple other questions here from folks. How many paid subscriptions do you have so far? I think he's got like 53. How many do you have, Avish?
I think it's up to about 56 paid and something around 400 free.
So 56. And by the way, folks, as opposed to other people that you listen to in this field, these are real numbers. These are not bogus numbers. So 450 or so free. And let's see here. Let's see. Tom is asking, if they don't have a product to sell, they will after the seminar. Yeah, you know what, Tom? This is just a 1-hour recording. So, for people, I love it when people say something is a product when they have a 60-minute audio. To me, that's bird feed. That's not really a product. I hate to say it, but I mean, it's not anything of substance. A real product to me is something a little bit beefier. This might be a piece of a product, or if you were telling Bill DeWeese that after this, he now has a recording of 5 people, a total of 5 hours, yes, that's a product to sell. So I'm not putting down individual 60-minute products, but I don't think that's really meaty enough to call that. So anyway, there you have it, folks. A lot of information. Thank you for being on the call. Again, we do these every Wednesday. I want to thank Bill, I want to thank Dave, and I want to thank Avish for being here with me. And again, we've reached the end of our time together, but we do this every week. And Bill, why don't you sign us off?
Okay, coming to you live from Chicago. I'm out of here.
You can tell when he's not getting paid.
Get you on the flip-flop.
When he's not getting paid, that's what you get, folks.
Yeah.
See you all next time. Thanks for being on the call, everyone.
All right, see you.
Bye.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call will be disconnected. Goodbye.